Just remind listeners where the new crossing is, where it takes off and where it lands.
It's... you'll forgive me, I can't recall the exact landing zones.
So the crossing that you're talking about, you don't know where it is?
Well, it's the Lower Thames crossing,
yes,
which has been in planning for many, many years.
So this is Economic Secretary to the Treasury. Economic Secretary to the Treasury, Emma Reynolds.
It's almost as if you were reading from a piece of paper there, isn't it? you don't actually know where it takes off from or where it lands, do you?
Oh dear. So it would appear that our beloved Economic Secretary to the Treasury, Emma Reynolds, has been ambushed by LBC host Nick Ferrari, a gluttonous little Italian, who's asking her, trying to get her all bogged down in the details, right? She's come onto his show to talk about some nice bridges that they're going to build for the people of London and how it's all going to be great and there's going to be no traffic and it's just going to be nice, right? And little old Niccolo Ferrari, is asking her, where does the bridge start? Where does it finish? Look, Nico, I don't know how they run things down there in Little Italy or wherever you live, and I don't want to know. But around here, we have roles and responsibilities. And our beloved Economic Secretary to the Treasury, Emma Reynolds, it's not her job to know technical stuff like that, where the bridge will be. She just needs to, oversee the operation. She just needs to know that there will be bridges and that they're going to be good bridges.
Who's Daniel Boland? Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
How much is the crossing going to cost, Secretary?
Well, overall, it's going to cost several £billion.
How many? You don't know that either, do you, actually?
Well... it has already cost quite a lot of money.
I don't wish to be rude to you personally. Is there much point continuing this conversation?
Well, yes, actually, Nicolo. There's a lot of point in you carrying on the conversation. I, for one, would be thrilled to hear about this mystery crossing that's going to appear somewhere along the Thames. Very exciting, and it will cost billions of pounds. I bet it's going to be a really cool bridge with, lasers and stuff. So I can't wait to hear about it, Nick. And frankly, I'm getting a little bit sick of your whoppish disdain and contempt for our British ways. I think you might need to sod off back to Palermo for a little bit, and see how the Cosa Nostra is doing with all the bridge building, eh? I think the marinara sauce has gone to your head, hasn't it, Nick?
Quite a substantial part of this £1 billion restructures fund will also go to the Lower Thames crossing, which has been long in planning, but not really taken forward. And
see, this is the context you don't get from all of those gotcha viral clips that you see all over the internet. She actually made a very strong start to the interview. She was very clear that some amount of the £1 billion was going to go towards the Lower Thames crossing, which, by the way, as she says, has been a long time in the planning. I mean, look at what time it is. It's 7:51 a.m. She's been up all night, drawing up plans, drawing sketches of bridges, no! Right? Listening to Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel, watching Bridgerton on Netflix.
And obviously the congestion around the Dartmouth Tunnel is a real problem for getting lorries moving between the North and the Midlands and the ports in the southeast.
Dartford Tunnel, I think.
Sorry, I meant Dartford. Excuse me. Dartford Tunnel.
It's Dartmouth, that would be one hell of a crossing, that one.
It's because...
Yeah, laugh it up, Nick. You think you're so clever, don't you? When poor old Emma Reynolds has been wandering round London all night, going up and down the Thames. She's like that guy in the movie Chinatown, the chief water guy, walking around looking at all the dams like, She's been walking around with a little sketch pad. Perhaps we could build the bridge right here. Building the bridge right here would necessitate the demolition of the new children's hospital, Miss Secretary. Also, the River Thames would have to be diverted several miles to the north, as it does not currently run through this neighbourhood.
So I'm obsessed with that part of the world. I meant Dartford. Excuse me. I had a very early morning.
I know the feeling.
Dartford Tunnel. Yes, I'm sure you did too.
Just remind listeners where the new crossing is, where it takes off and where it lands.
It's. You'll forgive me.
Oh no, that's where you're wrong, Emma. Nick Ferrari does not forgive anyone. He is like a camel crossed with an elephant. He's one spicy meatball. Is Niccolo Ferrari.
I can't recall the exact landing zones.
So the crossing that you're talking about, you don't know where it is?
Well, it's the Lower Thames crossing.
Yes.
Thames crossing,
yes.
Which has been in planning for many, many years, and it is to enable essentially people to not have to take the Dartford Tunnel, which is a huge problem. Dartford Tunnel, and it's to enable businesses, lorries, people doing business, but lorries in particular, who are coming from the Midlands and the north to key ports in the south east. That's what we.
It's almost as if you were reading from a piece of paper there, isn't it? you don't actually know where it takes off from or where it lands, do you?
You'll forgive me, Nick, but this is part of a broader 10-year infrastructure strategy that we will be launching later this week. And it is vital that we ensure that we improve our infrastructure, which is absolutely central to economic growth across the country and delivering better jobs and better wages for people.
All right, so just on a serious note for a second here, because this interview just goes downhill from here. This woman is, as we've already established, our beloved Economic Secretary to the Treasury. Now, if you don't know what that is, basically her job entails knowing how much stuff is going to cost and how the money is going to be raised to pay for it. So that's why she's talking about all these bridges and infrastructure investments in London in this interview, because she's supposed to be the person who knows who's going to frigging pay for everything, right? The taxpayer, private investment, how's it going to be done, how much is it going to cost, right? And the conversation moves on to that, the economic side of things, which should be her area of expertise very soon, and you will see she's none the wiser on that either. So I'm sure a lot of you are watching it thinking, oh, you know, she doesn't know exactly where all the bridges are going to be, or any of them for that matter. But that's not her thing. She's a number cruncher, right? Bullshit. She's another Diane Abbott.
So how much would 10,000 police officers cost?
Well, if we recruit the 10,000 police men and women over a 4-year period, we believe it'll be about £300,000.
£300,000 for 10,000 police officers? What are you paying them?
No, I mean, sorry.
How much will they cost?
It will cost about £80 million.
About £80 million?
Yeah.
Right. How do you get to that figure?
We get to that figure because we anticipate recruiting 25,000 extra police officers a year, at least, over a period of 4 years.
But if you, I don't understand. If you divide 80 million by 10,000, you get 8,000. Is that what you're going to pay these policemen and women?
No, we're talking about a process over 4 years.
I don't understand. What is he or she getting? 80 million divided by 10,000 equals 8,000. So what are these police officers going to be paid?
We will be paying them the average...
Has this been thought through?
Of course it's been thought through.
Where are the figures?
The figures are that the additional cost in year one, when we anticipate recruiting about 250,000 policemen, will be 64.3 million.
250,000 policemen?
And women.
Right. So you're getting more than 10,000. You're recruiting 250,000.
No, we are recruiting 2,000 and perhaps 250. And the cost...
So where did 250,000 come from?
I think you said that, not me.
No, I can assure you said that figure because I wrote it down.
Fuck off! Get out of my house!
Poor old Diane Abbott, outsmarted by a gate. Look, my point is, if Diane Abbott, a woman in her 70s, is still in Parliament, she's the mother of the House, the oldest female MP we have in the UK, she's in her 70s, she's been in politics for over 40 years, and Labour, as recently as 2020, thought that she would be the best option for the UK if they were to win an election. She would be the best option to have as Home Secretary. She was a shadow Home Secretary, a woman who basically needs a sheepdog to pen her into Parliament every day. Look, it shouldn't surprise us, but it still does, that we have somebody like the Economic Secretary of the Treasury, Emma Reynolds here, a woman who at 47 years of age has been in politics for 25 years. So she came straight out of university, apparently set up some lobbying company in Brussels that I can't find the name of, I can't find any details about, and then she was suddenly a political advisor to Robin Cook. In 2001, he thought, yes, this 24-year-old girl, she's the woman for the job. Bollocks! These people are... It's no different than some crazy dictator just sort of picking his mates. We think it's an illusion, this democracy thing. I'm telling you. There is obviously no reason for her to think that any of these details are important, knowing where the bridges are going to be built, how much they're going to cost, where the money's going to come from. Who cares? You know, she's been living from handouts and living very well from getting on with politicians for 25 years. Straight out of uni, straight into politics. They're all the fucking same. There is no incentive for them to to be detail-oriented or competent. Why would they? Why change the habit of a lifetime?
I mean, I don't want to go on about this, but it is about the 19th word in the press release, the Lower Thames Crossing. Let me tell you, Gravesend in Kent, Tilbury in Essex, those are the two towns.
Tilbury, yeah. It was Tilbury that I couldn't... Yeah.
How much is it going to cost?
Yeah. Well... It's going to cost quite a lot of money, but we today are announcing £590 million towards that cost. We'd already put some money in the autumn budget into this project, but we want this to be a public-private partnership because there are significant benefits, obviously, to the private sector.
But how much is the crossing going to cost, Secretary?
So embarrassing. It's honestly, it's quite terrifying to think that this is what Emma Reynolds is like when she's prepared for an interview. This is what she's like when the cameras are rolling. Okay, so she should be coming on here knowing that it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth with Nick Ferrari here. He's going to ask her about, you know, the things she's responsible for, how much things are going to cost, where they're going to be, how long things are going to take. She has no answers to anything. You would imagine that last night she probably thought, well, I've got to have a few answers, and she made a few notes, which she has not stopped looking at, and she knows that there's something about $1 billion here or 590 million there, but she's not really sure about the details. You know, it's honestly, look, if there's anything I know something about, it's blagging, right? This was like me at school when I had a test. An exam, an essay, you'd have to write an essay under pressure about God knows what, Woodrow Wilson or something. And I'd just be like, oh, I don't know, 14 points, fucking Vilna crisis. It's like that. How can these people, these 16-year-old GCSE students, be running the country?
Well, overall, it's going to cost several £billion.
How many? You don't know that either, do you, actually?
Well, It has
Tell me,
already
is there
cost
much
quite
point?
a lot
I
of
don't
money.
wish to be rude to you personally. Is there much point continuing this conversation because you don't know where a bridge starts, you don't know where it ends, and you don't know how much it costs?
It reminds me of that old joke. I don't know if it is an old joke. Who was the founder of the Labour Party? Christopher Columbus. Because when he set off, he didn't know where he was going. When he got there, he didn't know where he was. And he did it all with everybody else's money. It is kind of incredible, though, that these people... I mean, who is at the frigging helm?
So, is there
Well,
any point
as I
continuing?
said, the money that we are putting in is crucial to unlocking this project, which has
But you
been
don't know how
years
much
in
it is,
planning.
Secretary. You don't know how much it is.
Well, it's several billion, as I've said.
It's 10 billion, to put you out of your misery.
10
there.
billion.
Yeah, so it's not several, it's 10. What does this say about the economic stewardship of this country, that someone in your position of importance, you don't know where a bridge starts, you don't know where it ends, and you don't know how much it costs? What does that say to you?
Well, I'm here to talk about the broader infrastructure plan as well that we will be launching later this week.
Well, for the benefit of my listeners, I will continue. When will the Hammersmith Bridge problem be resolved?
I'm not here to talk about the Hammersmith Bridge.
She's not here to talk about the Hammersmith Bridge, you bastard. All right? Stop springing all these names of bridges on her. It's, you're being cruel.
I'm not a transport minister.
Yeah, that's right, Nick. She's not the transport minister. Who is the transport secretary now? Lenny Henry? Eddie Izzard? The Just Stop Oil protesters? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Heidi Alexander, who at 23 years of age got an internship with the Blairs. And she's still there, clinging on. What a champ.
But you're talking about infrastructure. You're talking.
Treasury.
Sorry, I thought we just talked about 3,000 bridges that are unable to support the heaviest vehicles.
I don't have the detail of the Hammersmith Bridge.
But that's
I am
one
not
of the
a
key
transport
bridges that
minister.
can't support any vehicles, let alone the heaviest of vehicles. So clearly
as I
that
said,
must figure in this.
The plan, the money that we are allocating today will go to such bridges, to go to repair bridges, and
Yes.
to make sure that those bridges can take a load. And as you said at the top, there
Yes.
are 3,000 bridges across the country that can't take a load.
There are 3,000 bridges who can't take a load. Getting your relative pronouns mixed up there, you silly moo. But that's kind of terrifying, isn't it? You know, as I travel around Spain and see all these Roman bridges, they've been standing there for thousands of years, millennia, and they're still as strong as they ever were. But we've got 3,000 bridges in modern Britain that can't take a load, or who can't take a load. Look, and that's the extent of her knowledge. Incredibly. As incredible as it may seem, our beloved Economic Secretary to the Treasury knows that there is money and it's going to go on fixing bridges and stuff, because there's a lot of them that aren't working, you know, doing their primary function, which is to bear a load. So she knows that much.
Right. And one key one is the Hammersmith Bridge, so that's not part of this at all.
There will be Hammersmith Bridge and others will be, but that will be down to local. I mean, look, I can't come on your programme and give you the dates for every
I'm not asking for the dates.
3,000 bridge that will be.
She cannot give you the date for all the 3,000 bridge, Nicolo. All right, you crazy Sicilian. It's. Do you know what? I know this might sound crazy, but I actually think she should have an idea of most of those 3,000 bridges. You know when you want the best of the best running things, do you not think there are people out there who really could be on top of, you could probably ask, there could be some nerd somewhere, surely there is, somebody who could be really on top of that. Now, I don't want a technocracy of autists, as beautifully efficient as that may be. But just people who are passionate about what they're doing. You know? Obviously, savants come with their issues. But so do incompetent boobs, like Emma Reynolds and Diane Abbott.
Merely asking that one of particularly It's been closed, I think, for around 6 years. We hear of a new initiative by the newish government, 3,000 bridges. One of the ones that really jumps off the page, of course, is Hammersmith Bridge. And you don't know whether any of these funds are going towards Hammersmith. Is that correct?
I can't name every one of the 3,000 bridges.
Respectfully, I've not asked for that, have I, Secretary? I've just asked, can you confirm that it is going to get some of the funds from this £1 billion?
Well, further detail will be set out in written statements to Parliament.
Well, may God have mercy on us all. I can't be bothered with this topic anymore. I'm done. I hope you've had a lovely time. If you have had a lovely time, if you've enjoyed any part of this video, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. What the hell are you doing? And let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. Are we completely screwed? Or am I overreacting? Am I just living in my crazy echo chamber? You know? You let me know. If you want to follow me on X and Instagram, I'll be very pleased, because that way you'll know when a new video comes out and you'll watch it. Put the alarms on here. There's bells and stuff you can put on. Make sure you know the next time a video of mine is coming out. And if you want to help out with the channel even further, you can click on my Patreon under this video too, and get some access to some exclusive videos and nothing else. I'll see you in the next one.
Immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages,